Let's find out where it is. Watch, it's there. No, it is right here. So that's where we're going. A clairvoyant once told me my spirit guide is a voodoo priest, and since then I've always wanted to find out more about voodoo. So I'm off to West Africa, to Benin, the cradle of voodoo. I bet she's not going to answer her phone. She's always in bed asleep, is Emma. Hello? You know I'm going to Africa. To do all that voodoo and stuff. Do you need any particular spells brought back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah!
Ah! You know, or anything like potion spells or love spells or anything. Sex spell. Oh, you dirty thing. You don't need that. She didn't say that, really. I'm joking. Personally, I've been through quite a lot of stuff in my life, and if it wasn't for me believing that I could get through it, or believing that somebody's looking after me, and I'd have probably cracked up by now. Definitely, I've been here before. I mean, I'm not saying I'm an old soul, but I've definitely been here before, that's for sure. So, and my grandma, she's from West Indies, and she came over here knowing full well that she wanted to go back to West Indies, Nevis. And she's very much into, you know, she grows her own food, she makes her own little potions if she's ill, and she's done a hubba spell on somebody who we mutually both don't like, but nothing too heavy. And then this was my first tattoo that I got, which means spirit, heart and mind in Japanese. We're all really spiritual. Emma's mum, she does a lot of healing. Emma's very, very spiritual. Vicky's not so much like that, but I think deep down she is. I think I'm going to come back a changed person. Not changed as in, oh my God, let's go all hippie man, that vibe. Just inwardly. So I'm just going through all my old t-shirts that I don't need. You can't hold it, Phoenix, because Mummy's packing. Mummy, do you know where Mummy's going?
Yeah.
Where?
Where they do the what, Mummy?
Africa. Right, it is 11 o'clock. I've packed all my stuff and I'm off to bed. And I'm very excited. I'm up in about 5 or 6 hours on the journey and I can't wait. So, if I don't come back or if I get killed, then I love everyone. That's it.
I put a spell on you.
We're here in the airport. I've squeezed a few spots, so hopefully I'll get the sun beaming down. And maybe I'll get a potion to take them away forever. Emma's asked for a love potion. My mum's asked for a madness potion. My dad's asked for a sanity potion.
I put a spell on you.
So I've been given a list of potions and spells to bring back for people, and I had a few spells of my own I wanted, but I really needed to understand voodoo properly, to separate the myths from the realities. And there's another reason for this journey. My mum's white and my dad's black. He's from Nevis, a small island in the Caribbean. My dad's a descendant of slaves taken from Africa where voodoo was their religion. I hope through understanding voodoo I can get a better sense of my own history, a sense of where I'm from, my roots. Benin was a place I'd never even heard of. It's squashed between Nigeria and Togo, and to confuse us all, it's only been called Benin since 1975. Before that, it was known as Dahomey. I'm on my way to meet voodoo's top man, more like the Pope of voodoo. Right, follow me. We're now going to meet the Pope, or the King, should I say, of voodoo. So he's a very, 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 very important man. I wanted to get his blessing before I started my journey into the world of voodoo. Going in. Hi.
How do you feel?
Good.
Good.
Can I sit here? I know I'm known as Scary Spice, but these guys were more than a match for me. As I waited for the king to arrive, I started to wonder what I'd got myself into. Do I stand up? Do I kneel? What do I do? Do I kneel down? What do I do? How do I say hello?
You say hello without shaking hand.
Right, okay,
Here
hello.
we don't shake hand.
His name is Dagbo Hunan. Voodoo disciples all over the world see him as their spiritual leader. Legend has it his spirit was brought to the world from the sea riding on the back of a tortoise. If you can explain what's going to happen outside.
Finish.
It was obvious that my audience with Dagbo was over, so I escaped to grill Gustav, my translator. Does he have a wife?
He had a wife. All of them died.
Why?
I don't know.
Like all at once? Or different times?
Different times.
So how many wives has he had that's died?
Oh, I think at least 3.
3.
Yes.
So he doesn't have any more wives
Anymore.
now?
He's old now.
So yeah, I'm sure he can still do the old rumpy-pumpy.
Are you willing to stay with him?
Huh? Will I stay with him?
Wait, to be his wife.
No. I've nearly been married off once, I'm not going to do that again. So what are we waiting for now?
We are doing ceremony inside.
What kind of ceremony?
He's going to drink blood.
Right.
So, this palace is a sacred one. No woman can live with the chief here because the woman blood, masturbating blood, is not good.
It's not good.
For
Yes,
it will
it's not good
destroy
for voodoo.
It will destroy voodoo's
So why
power.
do the women or the women don't come here when they're menstruating?
Yes.
How do you know? I'm not on my period.
You are not African.
Now, why are they going to sacrifice these chickens and goats?
The real food of voodoo is blood
Why?
because voodoo is spirit. Spirit needs blood, only blood.
Well, what a start. It's hard to describe how intense the music and drumming is. It's almost hypnotic. Nothing like I'd imagined back in London. What, is she biting it?
Yes.
She's sucking the blood.
The blood. Voodoo is drinking blood.
Oh, I didn't know they had to drink the blood as well. He's just had it in his mouth. Oh, God. Coming face to face with this was testing my nerve, but Gustav explained that this man was deep in a trance and that drinking the goat's blood feeds the spirit of Hefieso, the god of thunder. This is also home to the school of voodoo. Here children learn prayers, dancing, drumming and the secret language of voodoo. They're all under 10 and they're not even allowed any contact with their families for a year, but it's regarded as a great honour. Boy or girl here, the small one, look. But seriously, from that young they can be in a trance.
Yes.
Dagbo Hunan was keen to show me there was more to voodoo than drinking blood. He'd invited me to a zombie ceremony. But maybe now's the time to explode a few voodoo myths. No, they don't stick pins in dolls, and the zombies here are nothing like the horror film version. In Benin, they're known as les revenants, the returned spirits of the dead. These spirits possess the dancers. They return to pass on messages to the living. Now maybe my ancestors will have a message for me. Voodoo is the national religion. About 3/4 of the population worship it. That's roughly 4.5 million people. Voodoo isn't the only religion here. There are plenty of churches and mosques, but in Benin, it's rare to find anyone who will deny its power. If someone is touched by the dancers, they fall into a trance, out cold, representing a spiritual death. But I was assured in 3 days' time this man would be fully revived and spiritually renewed. This is my first day, and I can't communicate with anyone because I don't speak the language properly. Well, I don't speak the language at all, so it's quite hard to communicate with people. It was quite weird to think that the kids there, this could be the same age as, well, they are the same age as Phoenix. You can have your child taken off you and sent to voodoo school without, any qualms about it. I also saw the zombies, and that poor guy got killed. Tomorrow should be even more interesting. I'm going to meet a man who says he can help me trace my roots. Benin is a place the world has passed by, and that includes the Spice Girls. Here, no one knows who I am. It's quite refreshing because in England it seems like nearly everything I do is reported by the press. Here, I'm hoping to cut through the bullshit and that people will speak to me honestly. A chance to find out about my black roots and where the real Melanie Brown comes from. But first I needed someone to explain what voodoo is all about. I'd arranged to meet Kola Ambimbola, a professor of African religion. Right, let's go and meet Kola. Hi. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
This is the fetish market.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to have a walk around.
They call it a fetish market, but
Bird.
it's a place where you can buy all sorts of items that can be used for religious purposes. And
Voodoo religion, because voodoo is
yes,
a religion.
Voodoo.
It's a culture.
Oh, absolutely. It is a religion. What you
So
find is that all
these are part of the rituals.
Yes, they make use of these items
They're
in
like
rituals.
birds, though.
Oh,
and
yes.
frogs and.
Yes.
So you would come to this place and buy what?
This is the head of a monkey, which might be needed for a sacrifice.
That's a hand, isn't it?
Yes, that might be needed for sacrificial purposes or for a herbal remedy. And
That's alive. Very beautiful. Careful. See, it's quite sad that it's going to die, really, if you think about it.
Killing, the taking of the life of an animal is much more humane.
This voodoo megastore made me feel uncomfortable. I've never seen so many dead animals, but Kolo promised to explain. But while I'm in the market, there's shopping to be done.
This is for love.
Oh. So where would I keep that? Where, do I have it in my pockets? Do I have it
in your purse,
at home? And that will bring me love.
Yes.
But I want to get Emma, my friend, a loved one as well.
That's good.
What do these signify?
This one is called Ishora. It's really just for protection from both natural and supernatural sorts of evil.
But I want one for me and my little girl. 1, 2, 3, and then here's me, 4. I want somebody to be able to tell me who my spirit guide is and what my auras is and what I can do to meditate and work on and just to develop myself spiritually. Because somebody once told me that I've got a tall, skinny, long spirit guide that is into all the medicine stuff, but I don't know if they were lying or not.
They are not really spirit guides as such.
What are they then? What
we feel is this. Each person has a personal divinity or personal god or goddess.
I really didn't think it was like that. Well, that was something I believed in for years. I wasn't going to give up on it that easily. I still had a lot to learn, so Kola took me to a voodoo shrine down on the beach.
The word voodoo itself has various levels of meanings. It refers to the name of the religion, just as Christianity.
Right.
At a second level, it refers to the name of the gods and goddesses. Some of the other subsets we have Orisha, worship in Nigeria,
Yeah.
Candomblé in Brazil,
Yeah.
Santeria in Cuba. The religion is practiced in close to 40 countries of the world. The religion is growing like wildfire.
And people are understanding it more.
Absolutely. In America today, close to about 200 people each week have been been initiated.
So this is a shrine, because normally,
Yes.
with Christianity, you'll have like a whole church.
We call it the Ojubo. It means the place where you offer sacrifices to the god.
So it's not an evil, it's not a bad kind of black magic-y, like, oh, it's stick pins in each other thing. Not at all.
One could say that indeed the humane practice is to sacrifice an animal before you eat it, because effectively what you are doing is that you are offering special types of prayers and incantations before you take the life of an animal, which most of the time you will eat as meat anyway.
So do you believe animals have spirits as well? So it's
absolutely.
good to do that, so then it goes to a nice place.
Yeah.
I was beginning to see Cola's point. Is a sacrifice with prayers any worse than the fate our animals suffer in the slaughterhouses at home?
Voodoo does fascinate me in the fact that it's very pure, very natural, very down to earth actually. I mean, I'm from a council estate, so I know what down to earthness is. But I'm going to go to bed and get a good night's sleep. I've taken so much in my head because I was so naive, just like I'd imagine anybody is when they hear the word voodoo. Yeah, I'm a happy person.
Cola promised to help me trace my African roots. I wanted to look like I belonged, so I bought a traditional outfit in the market, but I was lost when it came to the headdress. A lady on the roadside helped me out. We headed up country to Abome to meet a diviner who I hoped would have some answers about my ancestors.
Does the diviner see your aura and things like that? No? Yeah?
It's possible. The gift to be able to see things like that is not something which everyone has.
So he'll be able to tell me about my ancestors. Will he be able to tell me anything like that?
He should be. You might ask the question, am I from West Africa? Are my ancestors, were they taken out of Africa?
Right.
And he will perform some a divination act, and he will come up with an answer for you. The best way to think of divination really is to think of a counselor. You go to a diviner to pose specific questions which require specific answers.
I'm going to follow you, Carla, because I'm nervous.
Yes. Okay? Yeah, let's go. Go and sit down. How do you feel?
Could you ask him from me if he could help me find my room?
Yes. Say your wishes to this.
Right.
Okay, put it on top of the... Yes.
Put it where?
On top of the instrument.
Here?
Yes. Yeah, put your 2 hands on top.
We arranged a fee of 30 quid for my reading. Now here in Benin, a lot of people struggle to earn a £5 a week. There seemed to be a problem. The diviner couldn't answer my question. I had to ask again.
Question to answer.
Yes. Speak. Fine, ask the question. Ask whether your ancestors were originally from West Africa.
That's it.
Only hair? Yes.
Oku.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
So you are originally Yoruba.
Yoruba, that's good. Where is that?
I will explain to you. Well, Yoruba span from Nigeria, the southwestern parts of Nigeria, and through the central parts of Benin.
So that's where my ancestors are
Yes,
from.
they are from somewhere within that.
But I asked him that the first time and he said he couldn't answer it.
No.
But I didn't say West Africa.
Right.
Bye, thank you. It's really weird. The divine was supposed to tell me where my ancestors were from, my dad's side. I had to ask the question into a shell, which I then put in front of him. My first question was, are my ancestors from Africa? And immediately he said, I can't answer that positively. So I asked the question, are my ancestors from West Africa? Which to me, Africa's Africa, you know. The person who was giving my apparent reading didn't even look me in my eye once. And it just all feels like a load of what just happened then.
Well, if my past was proving tricky, maybe my future would be easier. Next, I'm going to meet a voodoo priest who says he can help me take care of it. It was the rainy season, but I was still surprised to wake up to a tropical rainstorm. It didn't seem to be a good start to the day, but John Vier, my new guide, saw it differently.
In our country, when you arrive at one place and there is rain, so means that the God of thunder want to make good things for you, is to welcome you.
Finding someone who could speak English in Benin is tricky, so Janvier was my hero. He taught himself and was very passionate about voodoo, the perfect guide.
Is it going to rain all day?
No, it's
it's
stopped.
stopped
Yeah,
raining
it
now.
stopped raining now.
Yeah.
But if it should rain all day, we have Barthélemy Yemanje, who is one priest of voodoo in Abome.
Yeah, and he can stop the rain.
Yes, he has that power.
Janvier had arranged for me to meet this man who controlled the weather, Barthélemy. He said he could also look after my future, and after yesterday, it had to be worth a try.
Ago rohwe. Ago. Meka hwebi oru huno hwebi. Melanie, what is your name?
Melanie, photo camera. A très photo, mina point. Melanie, mina point.
Edovi. You have a son, you have some
Daughter.
daughter.
Oh, that's good. He didn't know that.
Your daughter will become a star in the future. She will be an important personality, but for you, we have something to do, but it will help you during your life. It will help your baby to grow up and without problems in her life. Okay, your daughter. And I sit there. Okay.
Put them where? Tell me.
You put them there.
Just place them there.
Yeah, place them there. Okay. Okay.
Baby, no, suppose I made the hotel who budget can budget 30 so. Photo camera. Melanie, where? Melanie.
I call all the spirits to protect Melanie during all her life. That's why I invoke you, spirit. I invite you, spirit, come and protect Melanie.
When did he know that he had the power to do what he does?
Before, I don't have this power. But one day, I was in my house and suddenly I disappeared and I saw myself in the forest. I stayed in the forest during 16 days, and it's how I realized that I was called by the spirits I'm here to make good things because normally voodoo is not to be used to make bad things for people.
So say if there was a person in my life that was being really horrible to me, could I put a not so nice spell on them? Well, I don't want them to die or anything, I just want them to get what they deserve.
Okay, I have here one power, but it cannot kill those people.
No, I don't want
that. But avoid all the bad thinking from them.
Yes,
to
that's what
Penatti.
I want.
I can do that, but
Yes.
it's not for killing them or.
That's what I want, just to stop this person being negative to me.
Because they will not think about you again. They will forget you. You know.
Yeah, good. That's what I want. Can we do that then?
They say they will forget you.
How do I say thank you?
Awanu.
Awanu.
Kaka. Awanu kaka.
Awanu kaka.
I arranged to meet Barthélemy at the river tomorrow. If he could fix the weather, why not let him sort out a few personal things for me? Meanwhile, Jean-Pierre and I had a date with the man I'd especially asked to meet, a renowned medicine man. I hadn't expected the whole village to turn out or the huge welcome they'd organised for a complete stranger.
Welcome to Davidove.
Thank you. Wow.
The villagers were performing the mass and dances of Gele Day, an ancient ceremony to bring good fortune, good crops and chase out witches and evil. It was one hell of a party, and I ended up feeling quite emotional. Now deeper into Benin's heartland. It was obvious just how tough life is here. Benin is one of the world's poorest countries, mostly ignored because it has nothing anybody wants. But in hindsight, these people are happy. So I was completely overwhelmed by the friendliness and generosity they showed me. Here, amongst these people, I felt completely at home, bearing in mind they've never met me before.
I have the power to cure a lot of sickness. Something about
Gosh, it's a lot to take in just then, loads. Everything around me, you know. Lot.
Papa? Okay. He said that he has a lot of medicine in the house. He can show you the different medicine.
So you do all...
With all his mixtures and potions, this man reminded me so much of my grandma. I was also impressed that he delivers all the babies in the village. And guess what? The women don't even scream.
Wow. For these kind of things.
If people speak badly of you and you use this, all your enemies will leave this world before you. It means that they will die before you. No.
Really?
Yes.
Let's save some of that then. What about this one?
We use this against the witchcraft. We try to fight against them to save our children, the members of our families.
Can you give me something to take? If I'm allowed.
Okay. Anywhere you will pass and you have this powder with you, everybody will love you everywhere you pass. You want to try?
You do it first.
Yeah, I will do it first, you know. You see? Now, but you take a big one, small one, no.
Does it taste
It's sweet. It's sweet. See? That's it.
It tastes like nothing.
This is for the men who have problem. If they cannot have the power to be in erection, and they use this.
You're having some. You got problems with your willy.
No, it's okay. I will try. I will try though.
You don't need it, surely.
No,
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Papa,
I felt so emotional because so much has happened today. And just everybody here is just so happy. It's just makes you realise that, you know, when you go back to England and you're taking in Nurofen and paracetamol, they just survive from grinding a few leaves together and the pain goes away. So there is a big thing out there that's happening to here, but we're not tapping into it over there. I'm going to have to stop now because I'm going to start crying. That's it, bye.
The next day, Barthélemy took me down to the river for the ceremony I'd asked him for. I wasn't going to pass on his offer to help protect me from my enemies and all their negative thoughts. I found myself believing in Barthélemy, and I did feel different, as if all the bad feelings were washed away into the river and now gone. Back at his village, Barthélemy wanted me to see proof of the powers of voodoo. The rhythms of the drums and the frantic dance calls down the spirits to possess the devotees, so they can communicate directly to the spirit world. If I needed proof of Barthélemy's talents, this was it. The knife was sharp and the man didn't bleed once. But if you don't have Barthélemy beside you, don't even think about trying it at home.
Okay, now the spirit will go now.
So they have to beat the spirit out of them?
Out of the body.
He's the responsible of the drummers.
My friend had danced him.
Yeah, okay.
He was laughing. The first impressions that I got when I met Barthélemy was just instant honesty, instant truth, instant, like, no pooing about. You could just tell he was for real. It's on a different level, and somebody doesn't know you from Adam and is talking to you about your spirit and just having, you know, general conversation about culture or religion and stuff like that. And he did say to me though that I'm too argumentative and too aggressive, which I think I was a couple of years ago probably, but I think I've mellowed out a bit now.
Tomorrow I've got a date with the king. It's made me an offer no girl could refuse. I'm off to meet the king of Dahomey. He had a special offer in store for me.
La princesse. I'm going to be made a princess today.
Chantel, already a princess, was getting me ready.
No wonder their boobs are so low. This pushes down your boobs. Really does.
Na.
My name's Nat. Princess Nat.
The current king of Dahomey is a direct descendant of the last true Dahomey king, Benin. I didn't know it then, but we had something in common. His ancestor had been exiled to the Caribbean by the French.
Welcome to Mel B. I'm the present king of Dahomey. When we hear that your ancestor was from the Caribbean, we said, she is our daughter.
Brilliant. Can you tell him I feel very honoured to be here and tell him thank you?
How many
wives has he got?
We can have your
Why the hell happy?
more than 41 wives.
Yeah, but can he satisfy them all and be nice to them all?
Yeah, and and you will complete the number to become the 42.
I'm a virgin. Now watch this. This honours a band of fierce female warriors who fought the French invaders in 1889. King Benin used women to fight his battles, and they were even feared by the French Foreign Legion. This just has to be the spiritual home of girl power. The king was expecting me to join the dancers. Better that than being wife number 42, but I still needed a drink. My hair looks great, doesn't it? I was used to learning dance routines, but I don't usually have to worry that a wrong move might chop someone's head off. Now I was officially a princess. Chantal had one more special honour in store for me that night. I had been invited to a priestesses' coven. You have to bring your own bottle, so I brought some champagne and a half-drunk bit of beer. What have you brought, Chantal? What is that?
Sodabi, this is Sodabi.
The local drink.
Local drink.
She told me these women were unique because they each possessed the spirit of the dead Dahomey kings. These postmenopausal women are considered pure, extremely special and rarely agree to visitors. This is some of the women from today.
Yes, some of them were with us. We are the wives of the kings. Is how we put the cloth on our head. And I'm also possessed by King Gezo's spirit. So if they want to celebrate yearly ceremonies, she will be possessed by the spirit of King Gezo.
How does she know that it's that spirit that possesses her?
We cannot explain how we are possessed by the spirit.
So they're priestesses, so what is their like day-to-day thing that they do?
No activity.
No activities?
No activity.
So they're like royalty then, basically?
Yeah, they are considered as king. It's true that they are not men, but they are considered as king.
Don't they get lonely without their husbands or not on like an evening for cuddles and...
Well, if
they want to cuddle their husbands at night time.
Oh, Zamel. But anyway, I mean, assuming
are you laughing?
Okay, take now to have a new contact with the man.
Do they like alcohol by any chance?
Yeah, we are like men. We are men.
You tell me when to stop.
You know me, don't know me, you know pay me, I know pay.
God, she took a right help in that one. She had lots.
Yeah, that's no problem.
There's some more vodka. You like vodka?
Vodka. Tomorrow morning, we will drink because now.
Tomorrow morning they drink?
Yes, they will drink in earlier the morning. We say In Africa, in the morning, when you take a drink, you have a vitality and energy, and you can go to work, working hardly, and
They send you to AA for that in
and
England.
we say, we wake up the morning. You tell them, Mikudazo.
Mikudazo.
Oh. You also thank you.
Oh, so she likes this, and she scared me at first with her looks. Also. I'm just feeling my belly.
Yeah. Adomeba.
Oh my God! They've just had a growth. They've just touched my boobs. Oh my gosh. Now they're touching my bum. Did they like me, do you think?
Yes,
Okay?
this was an honor for them, and they were very proud. Mel, your roots, Africa.
Yeah, I know.
You come among Voodoo people. You are
And
in
they
the
accept
cradle
me.
of Voodoo. They accept you because they see in you the African blood. They see that you are their daughter.
I feel really honoured to be made a princess. And then there was all the dancing, and I met the king, and the king named me. And then I got groped by 5 priestesses. I'll never forget that. I forgot to tell you, right? I got a nice shower and everything from, you know, being made a princess, washed and everything, and I didn't put any knickers on. So I had this nice lycra dress on, which I can't stop talking about being groped, but I had no knickers on. I was being groped.
Akosu gan sien no gbaso e. Opete akota mano re tadi e. Tu mama na mere we no so kana tu mo kan to no na ko no.
Janvier, a strong voodoo believer, told me I'd been invited to be initiated into a voodoo sect, the Tron. As Benin felt more and more like home, becoming a voodoo initiate seemed all right.
He's dressing me.
Okay, he called to you.
Can I go in?
Yeah.
Kola nuts were placed on the altar. They were this god's favourite food. Now, I had been warned that a sacrifice was necessary. I didn't know quite what to expect, though. I had to remind myself that a sacrifice is an act of worship in the voodoo religion. And it's also a regular event and something that's been going on for thousands of years.
Tickles like a feather duster.
Why the blood? When you want to transmit a message to the spirit, which are the voodoo, and you kill the animal, when the animal is killed and the blood appears, the soul of that animal moves and goes in contact with your spirit or with your soul to communicate.
Janvier explained that if the chicken turned upside down, I would be accepted by the Tron spirit.
Oh my goodness.
So, this means that you are accepted by Tron. Melanie, from this day, you become an adept of Voodoo Tron.
Right, thank you.
I felt pretty chuffed to know that the Tron spirit had been coming back to England to look after me.
It was a very, very magical experience, and I believe in it. And then when it came to the actual reading, by the stones, I had to put the stone here and here. I did feel slightly sick. My shoulders went quite cold. They did 4 chicken sacrifices, which I thought I'd be quite freaked out about, but actually I wasn't. I feel like a blessed, sacred, calm woman.
We returned to the coast. I was reminded that Voodoo travelled out of Africa to Brazil, America and the Caribbean with slaves. Here at Ouida, I walked some of the 5-kilometre route that the slaves walked from the market where they were sold. They were then taken to the ships that would take them away forever. The site of the old slave port is now commemorated by the Gate of No Return. And to be honest, this is history that is really sad.
So this is the Gate of No Return, when millions of slaves got made to walk all the way down this road and all the way up here to be auctioned off or sold. And this is the port where they then went off to sea. But they all kept their voodoo culture close to their hearts, and you can see little voodoo statues, just there's one here, to welcome their soul back if they ever return. And it is quite a sad thing, really, because even in where my dad comes from in Nevis, like 3/4 of the population in the 18th century were slaves. Before I came here, I didn't know that there was that many slaves. I didn't get taught that at school. My dad didn't tell me that. Nobody tells you it. It's like, oh, hush, 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 like taboo, like voodoo, taboo, black culture, taboo. We're all a bit too sorry about that. Or are we sorry? Or have we just tried to forget about it? You know, there's so many questions. It is important to find out where your roots are from. I was even frightened of the word voodoo and spells and potions. You hear about witchcraft and black magic and sacrifices, but then actually being in there and seeing it and feeling how pure it is, and the feeding of the gods is why they do it, to keep the culture alive. It's just really lovely. So that's why me as Melanie, I'll take bits from this which I've learned, which have really touched me.
I feel I've made a real connection here, not just with the people but with the whole place. And one day I will definitely come back.
Voodoo are in the trees. Voodoo is an important thing. Voodoo is our religion. Like voodoo. Voodoo is our culture. We worship in voodoo. Voodoo is my spirit. Voodoo is my soul.